Carl Torog, professor of East Carolina University. In this podcast, we worked pretty hard in the last podcast, extending or building the eStore to be able to do automatic population and to dynamically generate all the movie clips. So we're going to have a little fun in this one, slow it down a little bit, and show you how simple it is to extend the eStore. So we're going to test the project just to review. So currently all of our icons, all of our MCs are being populated dynamically, and we have 4 items in our products.xml file. Let's open the XML file, and let's copy the last item. Go to the bottom of the file and copy from the basically from the last carriage return after the closing item tag on the 3rd item, or the next to last item, to include all and the closing item tag on the last item. Let's copy that and paste it, and then let's change the item number to 4 and change the item graphic to 4 as well. So we did a change here in the address to be item 4 graphic and the number to be item 4. Let's save that and go ahead and test project and watch what happens. So now we have 5 items, and in fact, because we have 13 icons, you can continue this fun. Let's go ahead and make a couple of them. We'll do 5 and 5 and 6 and 6 and 7 and 7 and 8 and 8. And save and test. And because we have graphics for these, all of these various icons, where you can see how we're extending the store, and you'll note all we did here, because we already had the graphic images, is simply extend the XML file. So we, in essence, added items to our catalog, or to our catalog database. We added images, although in this case we had made the images previously. The point is, if you were to sell this to a client, the client would not have to mess with the SWF at all, because the SWF is simply looking to the products.xml to find out how many items are in the catalog database, and then when a user would go to the eStore, the catalog, all those items would show up. And if they wanted to replace an item or discontinue an item, all they need to do is go and delete it from the catalog, from the XML file, and even if they left the graphic on the server, it wouldn't matter, because the XML file here is king. Whatever's in the XML file, whatever items are in there, however many there are, that's how many items show up in the eCatalog. And if someone was to go and delete an item right now from the store XML file, and the SWF, which doesn't need to reside on the same server as the XML file, and the next customer was to view the catalog, they would already see the update. So this is the beauty. I mean, I know we've done an inane amount of coding here. It actually isn't. It's not that much, but it feels like a lot of coding. You can start to see the benefits of this, in that there's a lot of work can be shown without doing a lot of work. Your customer now would have complete control over their catalog, and they would not be messing with the SWF. So this SWF is completely extensible and revisable by the user without them, by the customer user, without them ever messing with the SWF. They're able to go and just deal with their content, and they're not going to mess with your content, okay, the multimedia developers or the multimedia team's content. The other thing I want to cover here is, if you go into the store.as file, you can also control the layout here. If you come down to what I have on line 34, max MCs per row, up here in the, what do we call this, store item MC product info vars, under that comment heading. Right now, if we test this project, okay, we get 2 MCs per row. If you come down here and change that, let's say 4 MCs per row, you can change the layout of the catalog just by changing that number. Okay, so the catalog's now 4 MCs per row. If we decided it was, we have 9 out there now. If we decided it was 9 MCs per row, they'd all show up in one line. Okay, so they'll all show up across the top. We have 9 MCs per row, so we get them all across the top here. If we changed our position, you could also position them down across the bottom or stack them on the left. You could put them wherever you wanted. You probably would have to have a MC, what I would call an MCY position. Currently, we're using MCX position for X and Y. You'd probably want to create a separate Y to have a little more control. And then you'd want to come in here, say MC to add Y. You'd probably want to change that to MCY. And then decide if you need this other math or what math would control where those MCs would show up. But if you were to change the number here, as you can see, change this to 3, okay, we'll get 3 per row. They're all stacked evenly. If you wanted to space them out a little more, you could mess with icon spacer. Instead of 10, let's make that 20. Okay, they space out more, and basically you have control over the layout here. Honestly, I like 10 better, but that's just me. You have control over the layout here because it's an automated layout. All of these things control it. If your client decided the icons were too small and you wanted to go to 40 pixels for icon width, you could test project, and you get bigger icons. Okay, so you have quite a bit of control here. Now I do like the larger spacing. 10 is probably not enough. Okay, so you really have quite a bit of control here over the automated catalog just by manipulating these numbers, and that's really the reason why we did this. It's half the reason why we did these as variables instead of hard coding them in. This allows you to come up to the top, which is typically where you'd put this, above the constructor function, right? The public function store is the main constructor function for the store movie clip, or the store class. So you'd want above the constructor function, you have all the various controls that you need to manipulate the size and position of these icons. In our next video, we'll go over how to bring in the text data that each of these movie clip instances, each of these 9 item icons carry with them. For each movie clip, they each have with them their item number, their name, description, their price, and so forth. And I'll show you how to extract that information and plug it into text blocks here, so that each one of these, when you roll over a different one, they will change the text descriptions, the text information as well, all on the fly.